Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forged Alliance Forever. Today, I have a 6v6 custom match here on the most amazing Neuroxis map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 in the West, ending with Team 2 in the East. Starting up with Team 1 Chevy Crimson player, working our way southward, we have as a 1300 FAR, he is a UEF. And he is, again, a 1300 in Chevy Crimson to his west. In Forest Green, we have the Cyber player Boxeroo. He is a 1700 for his team to his east. We have in orange color orange Bilbo Boobus. He is a Cybern as well, and he is an 1100. The other section of Team 1's lineup, starting off here with Ein's No Good. He is a UEF in Tropical Ocean Blue as a 1600. Whenever I see his name, I always say Izung Gold. Izung, I can never say the name, but it's the main character from Overlord. Anyway, to his southwest, we have in Light Oak Tan, Storm Lantern as a Seraphim. He is an 1800. He's the highest rated player on Team 1. And last but not least here, for Team 1 in Ruby Red is Skotik. He is a Cybern. Lots of Cyberns here for Team 1. He is in Ruby Red. And again, he is an 1100. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have 3 Cyberns, 2 UEF, and 1 Seraphim, which means Team 1 lacks Aeon technology. Starting off with Team 2's Southern player, and working our way northward, we have in Regal Purple, Trottail. He is a Cybern as a 1300 to his east. In Stitch Blue is XBOCT as a Seraphim as a 1700. In Pac-Man Yellow to his west is Nobik. He is a Seraphim as well as an 1100. To his north, we have in Imperial Gray, Aikimo. I'm just going to call him Lin for short, but I think it's Aikomi Lin. Going to call him again Lin for short. Definitely butchered that name. Apologies. He is a 1600 in Imperial Gray. To his northeast in Snow White is the Aeon player of BRSD CCC 97. And he is, again, the highest rated player on Team 2 and in the game overall. And he is the only Aeon in the game. Just wanted to point that out. And last one, these two for Team 2 in the north, making a ton of Team 1 land factories right now, is Cyber Noob. He is a 1000 rated player. And again, he is a Cyber and definitely fitting for his name. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have 3 Seraphim, 2 Cyberns, and 1 Aeon, which means Team 2 lacks UEF technology, and as a reminder, Team 1 lacks Aeon technology. And for 12 players on the map, let's take a look at how much reclaim they have to scoop up. Currently sitting at 18,000 mass in reclaim, which means it's about 1.5k mass per player to scoop up. And is there a large grouping of it? It's mainly around this central, I don't even know what the heck you would call this, flower. You can get to it with very little hardship, just a little bit of ramps here all around the map, so there's no needing to transport units down there, whatever the case may be. You can essentially just walk across the middle. So it's a lot of reclaim, not necessarily in the exact middle of that formation, but it's all along the cliff edges, and again a little bit in the inner ring. Besides that, a couple of hundreds or so dotted around the map, but not really a huge grouping of mass points like it is, or mass in reclaim in terms of location. And speaking of mass points, for Team 2 side of the map, let's take a look at how much they have to grab a quad mechs position in the south. Nice little quad mechs position in the middle of Toronto, going for a gun upgrade. We have, continuing on northward, a tri-mechs position right here, right next to essentially the middle territory between the upper half of Team 2 and the lower half of Team 2. And then as well as of that, there is a Trimex position up here to the north. And just a lot of ones, but I'd say this is at least a quad mechs, if not a 5-star mechs. But again, it's like, well, if I can expand that out, that's 4, that's 5, that's 6. So let's just call it, I don't know, was that 9 mechs up here? So just at least a nice grouping and then a couple of ones surrounding it. And with that out of the way, let's go ahead to see where our players are going to. Looks like for Team 2, they're sending 3 players northward and 3 players northward here for Team 1. So it's going to be 3v3 in the north. No one besides was tiny little Celan is hanging out in the middle of the map here. And 1 engineer here from Team 1. Besides that, looks like it's going to be at least a 2v2 2 with... No, actually, this is Team 1's player, excuse me, not Team 2. So it looks like so far it's a 2v3 in favor of Team 1. The only player who has not left their main base is XBOCT, working on his air facility at the current moment. Gun upgrade has been started for the UEF player FAR. T2 upgrade has been started for Cyber Noob. We do see in the north couple of Moles and Mantis on the way to try to breach the perimeter for Team 1's northern player of FAR, but he does have some strikers moving into intercept, and they'll deal with that force quite quickly. And I will speed this up just to 1. I did slow it back down because I was starting to miss gun upgrades and all of that during the introduction to T2. Like I said, on the way for Cyber Noob, we have gun upgrades started here for Novik. Of course, the gun for Tritel has already been completed. T2 on the way for Eyes No Good. Good. I'm trying to say with like the extended O and U sound. We do see Skotik is down here. He is decently far forward. He's technically on Team 2 side of the map. And there are units starting to surround him, so he has to be very careful how long he stays here. But it looks like he's going to be fine for the time being. There's not that many units to worry about. He does have one bomber nearby, which is better than nothing, but it does look like Trottel's commander is going to move in and intercept this commander of Skotik as well. So again, like I said, he is already retreating. So there's really no issue because by the time the comm gets there, his comm will already be over there and he'll be fine. But it does look like he actually changes his mind. So it is going to be soon to be a comm v comm action here in the south between Team 1's Skotik and Team 2's Trottel. Gun upgrade has been started for Bilbo, and we do see T2 coming on the way here for Lin. Sensor upgrade going down for BRS. Very interesting. Of course, the Aeons only have that ability, or that upgrade. Huge benefit, especially on, I mean, any size map, but the smaller the map, the bigger the bonus, because it's the same distance of how much vision you get. So it's more beneficial on smaller maps, but it's still really nice to have even on a 20 by 20 map like this. I will point out there's a tiny bit of water on this map on the corners of the map, but of course that's not going to be used for pretty much anything else but hiding commanders, so not really worried about any sort of naval play. But there is water, barely, but there is water. We do see T2 on the way here for Novik, already finished with that gun upgrade, and now that Tritel has emerged, Skotik goes, I'm out of here, see you, bye, and decides to go back at least a little bit further back. He's going for spam, 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 and more spam for himself on that southern edge of the map. Same thing that Cyber Noob is doing in the north. Both of these Cyber players going for a lot of Mantis. Don't know if there's been a new, like there's a buff or something on Mantis. No idea. I should probably read the pad notes a little bit more than I do, which is none. So I probably should read them a little bit more, considering I've been casting this game for almost 400, which is insane that I have almost 400 casts under my belt. It's nuts. And I'm grateful for all of the support and all of the patience with me as I go on random tangents during casts. Let's go ahead and get back to that gameplay. T2 coming on the way here for FAR. He's finished his gun upgrade. Gun upgrade, again, almost done here for Bilbo. We do see that now BRS has that sensor package online, and we can see that is a huge, decent section of the north that he can see with no issue. And, of course, he has that Omni sensor online, so no sort of Cybrin cloaking nonsense Team 1 can employ. We do see, again, another attack on this northern edge here, outbound from Cybrin Noob. And a little bit does get further back, but there are a couple of units waiting in tow, so it's not going to do that much damage. Kill off maybe a couple of mexes. I mean, a couple of mexes is better than nothing, but in terms of how much mass was killed versus how much mass is lost per second versus how much mass and APM and whatnot, it's for me, I don't think it's that worth it. It's, you know, something, but I don't think it was really worth it, considering this mech actually did not die. So he's only killed off one mech so far, and this one has a name to it. His name is Destiny. Let's see if it is Destiny's child or not. We do see in the south, tactical missile has been started for Novik. He is not a UEF, which means he cannot build the Billy Nuke, but the tactical missile alone for the Seraphims are very nice. And of course, that'll be a nice little early harassment. There are some TMD already built here by Team 1. That's going to nullify that missile launcher a little bit, but there are areas of the map on the southern side at least that are not protected by any sort of tactical missile defense. We do see large buildup of units here for both of these teams in the north and mainly in the south. But like I said before, a lot of that army is coming from one particular player on each team, that being Nuke for Team 2 and Skotik for Team 1, going just pumping out Team 1 land units as fast as he can. T3 Air is online for Team 2's XBOCT, and T3 Air is also online for the 7 player Boxeroo. Haven't seen a lot out of him. He's been kind of throwing a couple of units up here in his comm to kind of mitigate any sort of engagements from Cybernoob. Does look like Cybern does push in a little bit, but some T2 triads are being built, and that's going to shoo those units away for the time being. In this case, specifically tickle cannons, those Cybern Cerberus T2 PD would be very effective because there's, you know, a lot of T1 units. They're not really have a lot of hit points, so that rapid fire nature. Each shot doesn't do a lot of damage, but of course, you know, they can focus fire a lot more. Like, okay, 4 shots for this guy, 4 shots for this guy, 4 shots for this guy, and it's like boom, 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 boom. But you can't really do that with like Percy's because they have so many hit points compared to how much damage each shot does from a Cybern PD or T2 PD specifically. Stealth coming on the way here for Skotik in the south. We do see a little bit of outcropping here from that tactical missile commander of Nobik. And now we see that Storm Lantern has left his main fire base, and Eyes No Good pushing it a little bit. Thought I heard an explosion, but that doesn't look like that was anything of note. At least not that I can tell at the current moment. Just tons and tons of spam here for both of these players. In terms of mass per second, Team 1 sitting at pretty much the same as Team 2. The numbers constantly vary, probably due to power-related issues. But Team 1, 625. Team 2, 630, 640. So let's say about 20 mass per second at most in favor of Team 1. But we do see that, in favor of Team 2. But in favor of Team 1, we see a Sniper Bot online here for Storm Lantern pushing in with his gun comm. And we do see that Eyes No Good and Skotik moving in to go after Nobik, completely ignoring Trotil, and he's actually pushing his units northward to intercept this large lineup of Mantis inbound for that commander of Nobik. Nobik continuing to retreat. A couple of T2 units online for Eyes No Good, and he's going for PD to start PD creeping against his opponent. And this is huge, huge for Team 1, getting a lot of breathing room for their main line of defenses, their back line defenses, and of course their eco. We do see that Trotil moves in and is continuing to move in a nice, not necessarily northward direction, but northeastward direction. So he's kind of just walking alongside those units from Skotik. Skotik still moving in. He does have stealth on board. Trotil does not, which means Team 1 can see Team 2, but Team 2 cannot see Team 1. We see Skotik can see Trotil, but Team 2 cannot. They will see him very shortly once he gets into visual range. But Trotil now receiving some fire. I think this is the first confirmed comm action of the game at almost 14 minutes on the clock. And there's not really a lot of units remaining here. A couple of PD have been built. They are Cerberus, of course, like I mentioned earlier. They are the best for Team 1 units. Maybe a couple of like T2 weaker units, like some rocket bots or something, but realistically, they're really only useful, in my opinion, unless you have 1,000 of them. Because, as always, 1,000 of anything can kill anything. We do see that those forces for Skotik continuing to push in. And Strap Bomber over the top here, going after Skotik's commander. Skotik falls into the low yellows. Doesn't have a lot of AA online. Has a couple of T1s, but that is it. No T2s, no ASF here for Team 1 over here as of yet. We have a transport outbound going for Lynn. Don't know where that's going. But it does look like Skotik will fall behind, or fall back, not fall behind. And Team 2's air player of XBOCT has called that Strap Bomber back. And Trotil control Ks. See if there's any. Oh, this is all Russian, so it's not going to really help me. But, speaking Russian, so yeah, they all speaking Russian, so who knows? They tried to leave. We go. Looks like it was probably a connection issue based on the English conversation. So unfortunately, Team 1 will, not unfortunately, but Team 1 will have an advantage over Team 2, with Team 2 losing their first play of the game, that being Trotil. That wasn't a kill. He made it out of dodge, but he had some connection issues. Definitely unfortunate for him. And it is common. It's not super common, and we don't like it to see it. I usually like the players to see it go up in Blaze Glory for a reason. Whether it's a stupid reason or a legitimate reason, whether that be he teleported into the midst of Team 1 PD, or he teleported in and got a kill, killed off a game ender or something, and then he died, kind of thing. regardless, I like to see players die for a legitimate reason, not for an exterior reason like losing power or losing connection or that sort of thing that is not necessarily under the player's control, any player's control, regardless, if it's on your team or not. But now with this advantage for Team 1, nobody is left online in the south for Team 2, at least on the frontline defenses. We do see that Nobek's making a little bit of a push to the middle, but this huge amount of effort by Team 1 is really going to distract a lot of the focus from Team 2. Team 3, Strat Bomber back. It had that 1 kill and went, okay, I'm ready for more. Goes after another T2 unit. Nice little Rhino got shot in the face. So that guy's going to go down and wish that he stayed home reading a good book. To the north, we have a incoming force outbound from Cybrin Noob. But of course, Bar has a lot of Team 1 and T2 PD. And now we have some Mongeese, the pseudo Ravagers of the T2 lineup for the UEF. Same gun, just shorter range, weaker unit / structure. And they have a grenade launcher, so that's something. And there's a lot of T2 units just waiting to get the call to move in. But of course, unlike last game where we saw just one player building all Mongeese, I do like the mix of units. We have some shields, we have some, pillars, missile launchers, and some AA. I love the variety of units that Farr is deploying. Nano Repair has been started for Boxer Row. He has the stealth upgrade on board. And with this, you see just a line drawn on the map here by Skotek going after this position here against XBOCT. Nice little fire base. Not necessarily a fire base, but a couple of PD, a couple of Mexes he desperately wants to keep online. That's 9, 18, 27, 36 potential mass per second. Of course, a couple wall sections might deter a few of those mass storages. But for the most part, there is potential at T2 stage for 36 mass per second for him. And in terms of mass, Team 2 is winning, but as Team 2 takes loss after loss here in the south, that advantage is slowly going to get eaten away by Team 1's constant pushing in against Team 2's southern line. Team 1, is doing really well so far, and Team 2 needs a win. And if anything, it's either going to be killing a comm off for Team 1 or just completely pushing Team 1 back in either the north or the south, which at this point might be the north. There's a decent amount of PD here, but if Team 2 can completely avoid that and go around, maybe they can have a 1-2 punch in going after Farr's frontline position. We'll just have to see who does what. Couple of loyalists online going for the faster unit for the Cybern faction, at least the T3 stage, to deal with all of these incoming spam. We do see that one of those Mexes is offline. 1 PD does remain, but the defenders were just enough to deal with this. Strat Bomber inbound going after that Titan. There he goes. And that Strat Bomber has now killed off 2,600 mass, so definitely paid for itself. And of course is sitting at 8 kills. So a decent amount of mass within, or per kill, I should say. T2 coming online here for XBOCT in his base. He has T3 Air online and is now starting to expand his air grid and actually decentralizing it, making sure that there's no early cascade effect that will happen to him. So I love to see that. Of course, there's not as much as a mass efficient in terms of adjacencies and having to build more structures and that sort of thing, but it does save you in the short to long term by making sure that if Team 1 does get the advantage with air and they push in with it, you're not going to lose everything in one just giant cascade. So again, there isn't a perfect move in FAF. There is always a cost to things, regardless if it's a financial cost or a loss of life cost, depending on the situation. Couple of T3 Mexes over here now being expanded out by BRS, getting that eco up and running, sitting at 330 mass per second, the most mass being generated by one player in the game, at least at the current moment. Couple of sniper bots online starting to poke and prod at Team 2's Pac-Man Yellow's Nobek forces. Those are loyalists. They have EMP weapons on board, which can, EMP units and cause them to not function. They don't work against comms, because comms have a protection against EMP. And T4 units, those are the other thing that have EMP protections, which makes me think that ACUs are T4s. That just, that's kind of how the logic in my brain works a little bit. But in the Southwest, a lot of raiding has gone down by Team 2, going after a decent amount of Mexes for Skotek. I don't know if this was, looks like it was that is an Otham. running around the map trying to avoid incoming firepower. It looks like the transport was down here, dropped them off, and had them just walk across the map. So great use of a couple of units here for Lin, really sniping at Team 1's eco. Will it get the T3 mechs? A couple of more hit points remain. Team 1 has their own, and they do get that T3 mechs. Ooh, it's gotta hurt. It was barely about to live, but Team 2 says, no mechs for you. And at 20 minutes on the clock, let's take a look at the game overall. Team 1 sitting at 6 players left. Team 2 would be sitting at 6 players left, most likely, if Trato didn't have to leave because of connection issues. But again, it's not a kill. It's just an unfortunate incident for Team 2. So, but at the end of the day, it is 6v5 in favor of Team 1. Team 2 sitting at 1.5k mass income. Team 2 at 1.2k mass income. And Lin has just built an experimental. He is a Seraphim, so most likely it is a chicken. And, of course, if you haven't done so already, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so very much for all of your time, your attention. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so very much for watching my casts. And again, like I said, almost 400 casts in, and people are still watching. They haven't gotten sick of me. So thank you so much for putting up with me and my patience and my distractions with tangents and whatnot. Thank you so very much. And as always, please comment down below what you loved about the cast, what you think I can improve on the cast, your thoughts and feelings about anything and everything, regardless if it's about the cast or not. Thank you so very much for watching. And, of course, share this video, most importantly, with your pets, because your pets deserve to watch this just as much as everybody else in your family, friends, co-workers, random person you met on the street, whoever it is. Everybody deserves to watch this glorious game that is Forged Alliance Forever. And we do see that chicken moving in with a lot of T2 Asylum mobile shield support. That is a lot of hit points. How many of them are there right here? Okay, I won't count that one because they're not right next door. So we have 24 times 35. Let's just say 20. So that's 70,000 hit points in protection. We're talking about the chicken having 67,000 hit points. So more hit points in shielding than there is hit points on the chicken. We do see that the forces outbound from Bilbo will have to retreating, but looks like they're trying to draw in the chicken to go further deep into Team 1's territory. Looking to move possibly to intercept it for far. And he's debating about it. Oh, he's sending some units in. But, of course, there's not a lot of T3 units online for Team 1, which means this is a huge advantage for Team 2 to get that desperate need that they needed, a desperate win that they needed to push back Team 1 in sort of regard. But, of course, I love this. At the same time, we see that Team 2's other player on the front line here in the north for Cybran pushing in with his forces, going to do a lot more damage than he did earlier on, and destroy a decent amount of mexes and probably get to this group of T2 mexes over here. Again, that's 36 mass per second generating. So that's definitely a high value target for that group of forces to move in and go for it. But it does look like the chicken's actually going to go after the PD emplacements with all the names that are going to be taken out. Cougar going to stand and just, nope, he is going to leave. There are a couple of Percys now emerging here from the factories from far, but it does look like those forces are going to start sandwiching. I'm surprised. I expected them to go west, but they went south. Team 2 really does not like this base, and it's not going to go good for any of this. Those forces actually fleeing the chicken, going into the forces from Cyber Noob. I have to think for a second who I'm talking about. A couple of Percys in there. I see some rocket bots as well. Lots of rhinos, couple of mantis, and that's really much about it. I don't see any T3 units. I do see a transport with a comm on board, and Boxeroo gets shot out of the sky. Oh, he tried to get out of dodge with that transport from the chicken, but was shot down. Great pickup by BRS. I was glad I was able to see it just at the last moment. And it is now a 5v5 tied-up game here with comms remaining. We do see in the south, Team 2 had an experimental at some point. At least I thought they did. Oh, there it is. It's the monkey, and it's being chased by a chicken. And that chicken has better range for the most part, so that monkey is definitely outmatched for the time being. We do see, of course, the chicken just stomping all over Far's frontline facility, or, I mean, the remains of the frontline facility. Cyber Noob most likely builds a monkey in his base. I don't think crabs are necessarily at the, on the minds of Team 2 or Team 1 as of yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if somebody decided to start one. I started building a couple of strat bombers going after that chicken, as well as the monkey going after said chicken. I think the monkey might survive with all of this T2 and T3 support. There it goes. The Monkey just needs to back up a little bit. I think he's actually out of range of that Ion Storm, but still, it nullifies the ability for Team 2 to use that Monkey effectively. And there's a Bouncer sitting here going after those T2 Volt-through gunships. And Strap Bomber taking some shots to the back, but it looks like there's 2 air players for Team 2, that being BRS and XBOCT. So they have a huge advantage over Team 1 having only 1 air player so far, and I would not be surprised to see somebody on Team 1, most likely, if I was to guess, I mean, Storm Lantern already has that facility on lock, so I'm assuming maybe it is going to be Skotic. It's not the player I necessarily thought it was going to be because he's focused on land endeavors. It looks like he's handed that off to mainly Eyes No Good. We do see that he's going for nano repair as well to protect his commander a little bit more. Forces start to go after the chicken here. They want revenge for that firebase and, of course, for Boxer Brew. They got shot out of the sky by BRS's forces. And that chicken is gonna be dead. And the chicken, will it survive the blast? Oh, no, it will not. Definitely unfortunate. But even in death, I still serve, says the chicken. In more than one way, getting a kill from beyond the grave. That martyrdom skill from COD back in the day was so annoying to deal with. It's essentially like somebody kills, if you're playing, not T3, but Halo 3, Halo Reach or whatever, and you throw a sticky grenade and somebody kills you, you're like, you're gonna die because I stuck you with that sticky grenade. So, and you usually get, sometimes depending on how fast the grenade goes off, you may or may not get the kill beyond the grave medal. Anyway, a couple of bombers fanning out their shots, going after a decent amount of those Percys outbound from Eyes No Good. And another pass will kill off most of them if they do drop bombs, but they do back up, or go back, so it doesn't look like they are going to go for it. But like I said, Team 2 having 2 air players gives them a lot of utility. Of course, going for gunships, going for strap bombers, 2 groups of ASFs. It is a 20 by 20, so it's nice to have a little extra firepower to be able to spread across the map. ASFs now sitting, protecting the restorers being built. Of course, air-to-ground weaponry, if I can speak correctly, is something to be desired. But of course, something is better than nothing. We do see some inbound forces from Lynn to assist with this amount of T2 and land and air spam in terms of PD emplacement. A couple of spearheads online going after other ground units, but of course missiles go for where the unit was, not where they currently are, if the unit is moving. And now a monkey and a chicken decide to walk into a bar, and Far trying to hold onto this quad mix position, but just can't seem to keep it online for much longer since that initial attack from that chicken from Lynn. And he's pumping those chickens up pretty quick. Looks like he already has a 3rd one online even before the 2nd one dies. Need Fat Boy ASAP, says Boxer Roo. I love, of course, the man in the chair here for Boxer Roo so far, helping out his team the best he can. XBOCT going for nano. He's finished ARAS, so he's trying to protect himself and get some more eco under his belt. SMD makes a comment here, or made a comment by Eyes No Good, making sure they have some nuke protection. Team 2, don't see any nukes being built at the current moment, but of course you can't be too careful. But the absolute horde of air facilities already online for BRS is definitely kind of insane. He's going for mass FAF farms now. But look at this. Like, it's 27 minutes, and he already has a ton of them online comparatively with Team 2's other air player. Not as many. Not as many air facilities. That is a lot of them. And I do like the fact that they're kind of split. It is a little bit cascadey, but I do like the fact that there's, of course, a definitely a bifurcation in that this is this half of the thing and this is the other half of the thing, so he doesn't have to worry about any sort of just mass casualty event or mass cascade event that could occur. And those forces continuing to push here for Team 2. Airfight does occur over Team 1's base. A couple of AA emplacements didn't help with that, and it looks like, for the most part, Team 1 has air, but of course there are restorers nearby, and of course there's more ASF, I would assume somewhere in the south here, from Team 2's XBOCT, mostly, a couple ASF and a decent amount of strap bombers, possibly for a sniper attempt or going after an experimental, one or the other. They both work. Monkey and chicken continuing to hard press Far out of existence. We see air expansionary efforts here by Team 1 Storm Lantern, and like I said, this is a disaster waiting to happen if artillery or a couple of strap bombers inbound. It's not a pretty day, and that cascade would kill pretty much everything. We do see an SMD was barely started and then immediately destroyed by the monkey. Fat Boy has been ignored, now going for Ravagers. and it will force the experimental duo back. Of course, there's now bricks moving in, and they really want to kill that experimental near their front line, or now their new front line, I should say. That's their new normal. It's always getting used to new normals, because change is one of those things where it's like, this is the normal, and then eventually it's like, well, this is normal. So someone said that to me at work today. I'm like, just get ready for the new normal. And I'm like, yeah, that's a good way to put it. It is a good way to get used to the new normal. We see a couple of Team 1 bombers desperately trying to kill off that Monkey Lord being protected by some Ascendants. And that chicken is in full retreat. Second chicken going to group up with the first, and a third chicken as well. Man, what is up with the cast lately in chickens? And there's another chicken. Are you done with chickens? These are like rabbits. These are the new rabbits of Forged Lands Forever. Just chickens and chickens and more chickens and more chickens. I think I'm going to have to split focus a little bit because there's something going on in the south. Team 1's mounting an attack with chickens. There's too many chickens. Go to Chick-fil-A and eat more chicken. Echoing the cows from Chick-fil-A. Just eat all the chicken. Anyway, a couple of chickens here for Team 1. Storm Lantern, of course, he's also doing double duty with land and air. I feel like he should gift over at least the units to Eyes No Good so he can micro them a lot better, because there's other forces for him as well. And Skoda 2, we do see a crab has emerged, and another one can be built here pretty shortly by Team 2's Nobik. And I should probably move the left screen because nothing was really happening so far. Large groups of engineers just scooping all the mass on the field. And Team 1 bombers starting to just crowd the skies, still going after whatever they can, and going after that monkey lord that they desperately want to kill. Bombers, I don't know what they're going for these units, because they did go after those those monkeys though. Not monkeys, sorry, those engineers. Anyway, Crab in the east being absolutely destroyed by those chickens. I feel like that was a really quick fight here. It feels like the game is proceeding faster down here than it is over here. It's very weird because it's not at 1 speed, it's at 0. For some reason it just seems faster on this side of or it seemed faster down here than it was. But this group is getting into the main base of Nobik. His facilities are going down. Gunships trying to assist with staving off this attack. T3 and T2 alike. Lots of tanks here. A couple of lightning tanks as well, but mainline tanks here. Those siege Authams doing wonders for Team 1's, advancing forces and firepower. We see another facility going offline. T2 air about to die. And it's getting pretty close to that air grid here for XBOCT. Has to be very careful with how far these chickens push in the north. Of course, the same kind of situation, but Team 1 is starting to fend them off. There's more chickens, so it's more of a deadlier threat for Team 1 than it is Team 2. But Team 1 is in Team 2's base. Group of Strat Bombers going after that first chicken. Those Strat Bombers are the main target. Storm Lantern's going to sacrifice his air to go after them. Couple of bombers do still exist. And I feel like the restorers from BRS should be focusing on this chicken. But that chicken is almost dead, sitting at 3,000 hit points remaining. This chicken is about to finish, and it will be enough to stave off the attack from Team 1. And like I said, there's lots of devastation on this southern side of the map here for Team 2. And Team 1 also hurting bad here in the north. So both sides just feeling it, both in the territory loss and gain and in the mass department. Team 2 sitting at 2.7k mass, Team 1 at 2.1k. Team 1 desperately needs to get their eco game online because it's mainly being driven by 2 players on Team 2, that being XBOCT and BRS. They are the air players. They have a little bit more protection in terms of land engagement, so they're able to focus a little bit more on eco rather than defenses. And of course, we have some Strat Bombers aiding in the efforts of staving off the incoming said land attack in the north. Fat Boy has been produced by Team 1 and dual Monkey Lords moving in to intercept the quad chickens and the 1 Monkey Lord from Team 2. No crabs as of yet here from Cyber Noob, but maybe he's focused on just going for spam still. But large group of frontline land facilities and just the chickens. Lynn, just you're obsessed with chickens. I can't blame you. Chickens are very good in this game, but that's a lot of chickens. And of course, if you've watched the show Ed, Ed, and Eddie, I like chickens, Ed Egg. That is Ed with 1 D, not 2 Ds, because that's not confusing when you have 2 characters named, or it's not spelt the same way, but they're pronounced the same way. course, we have the Monkey Lord trying to chase after this chicken, but this chicken's going to engage, and that chicken's retreating. That chicken has full health, should be covering that chicken's retreat. Team 1 bombers moving in, a lot of them just getting absolutely annihilated by those AA defenses of the flak and lightning tanks. Lots of T2 and T3 PD, and no T1s as of yet, but mainly T2 and T3 being built as fast as they can for far. And that Fat Boy, it isn't staving off the attack, but it's definitely making Team 2 think about it. But this might help Team 1 out, but there's a lot of AA. It's very much positioned in the middle of all those chickens. Takes out a decent amount of their defenders in terms of their AA and whatnot. But ASF's moving in from Team 2's BRS. They've locked onto the target. The Awasaw trying to escape that horde of gunships. I can't even talk. Horde of fighters. That is taken out. It's on Team 1's side of the map, and it's still on the map. It's not off the side of the map. That's good. Team 1 gains air control once again, but there's still groups of ASF running around the map here for Team 2. And we have some AA going after some gunships here. And it's just kind of a never-ending battle between the gunships from Team 2's BRS and the Cougars from Team 1's Nuke. They just cannot come to some sort of agreement. One wants to just restore, and one wants to just pray after younger people. Anyway, grab online here for Bilbo. And again, with the Fat Boy and the horde of T2 and T3 PD, it might be enough to stave off Team 2, at least for a little bit. But just the absolute monstrosity of Team 1, AA, and chickens, and ASF still in the area, and restorers. BRS is not stopping production anytime soon. Spamming out, of course, his Rasboys, and now a donut for himself. So he's going to have a lot of firepower in the land and air department. Do see in the south side of things, we see XBOCT slowly losing territory. He's also deployed an Awasaw bomber. Of course, the other one from Team 1 was shot down. But we do see a couple of bricks moving in. We do see that XBOCT has to be very careful because he's going to lose his air grid if he doesn't stop this continual just pushing in from Team 1. This is how Team 1 will win the game going in from the south. This is how Team 2 will most likely win from the land side of things going in from the north. And it's a lot of spam to distract a lot of the PDs and the artillery on the Fat Boy John Adams for that that Fat Boy. Maybe this one will be like Roosevelt or something. I don't know. Lots of U.S. presidents. Lots of PD being built and shields as well to protect that PD investment. Love to see that from Storm Lantern. He's like, they're not getting through my wall. I'm not building wall sections. I'm building walls of PD. So 1,000 of anything will kill anything. This chicken's going to fall back, probably get control K'd, and then reclaimed, and then funneled into more chickens. Because, of course, Lynn has one thing on the brain, and that is chickens. T3 artillery pumping out shots going after that John Adams Fat Boy. And it's mainly just T3 trebuchets and engineers in that grouping of units in the north. More engineers, just all the engineers over here. Another bomber has been built by Storm Lantern. He's like, well, the first one wasn't too bad, so I'll just build another one. And ASF already moving in here from Team 2. They are going directly for that bomber. No holds barred, just going to go for it. That bomber's already been shot down anyway, so it doesn't even matter. And still nothing in the middle of the map here, which makes me think that, they're not even using it. Very surprising. There's no land engagement in the middle. They're only going from the north and the south. I guess the pathfinding is very annoying, so that would make sense why they're only going north, east, south. But still, send some units down the middle to have some sort of distraction. If it's, a couple of shots per second, that's less shots going into your main force. So, I don't know. I feel like the middle is definitely underutilized for both teams. It's not just one team or the other. It's both teams. That bomber is still online here for Team 2. It's dropped into the red, but it's at 2 strike efficiency, 65,000 mass killed. Fat Bomber online. Fat Boy online for Eyes No Good. ASF going after and slaughtering those gunships. Team 2's ASFs, they mount. They build very, very quickly given the fact there's so many air facilities. And there's even more and more and more of them being just built. And that donut is online. So we've seen 2 of the three air quotes experimentals of the game. I do not count, in my opinion, do not count the Novax as an air unit. I count it as a ground unit, masking itself as an air unit. Just because its main weapon is in the air does not mean it is an air weapon. The only way to destroy it is to destroy the ground facility. So I call that a ground experimental or land experimental. Bomber down here just going after random units. Team 1 is sending out. This is just massive spam on spam on spam on spam for Team 2. And it's not paying as many dividends off as it used to. Team 1's getting so many defenses, so many experimentals, whether that be Fat Boys, Monkey, Crabs online, that it's making this fight less and less effective. So I feel like Team 2 needs to switch things up, go for artillery, go for nukes, they could go for like 30 crabs, but I don't think that's really going to help things. A couple of labs, couple ding dens or so running around the map, but this isn't going to do a whole lot either. Chicken had a chicken fight here between the two players, but of course Mass is going to favor Team 1 because it's literally on top of their engineers. And that, massive amount of land spam slowly not really working so much. We do see the transfer of everything from Cybernoob to Lin. Looks like Cybernoob might control K and leave the game. Looks like that's exactly what he's doing, moving out of range of his base there. Maybe he had to go. Maybe it's like 3 a.m. and he's just too tired to play. Whatever the case may be, he just got to go. Let's see over here. A Paragon has been started because BRS doesn't have enough ecos. Same thing with Lin. They're sitting at 1.2k and 900k respectively. Team 2 has not cracked 3,000 as of yet. And there goes Team 2's Cybernoob. So both of the players who are no longer with us in this game have either left because of connection issues or left for some other reason, regardless of what that may be, whether again be tired. Doesn't really matter. They decided to leave the game. I need to go. So I should give you my stuff. So he had to go for other exterior reasons. So yeah, another just scenario where it's something else outside affects the game inside, and that is the unfortunate thing with life, is sometimes life gets in the way of fun. We do actually get in the way of fun a lot, to be fair. But a couple of Novax is going after the SMD here for XBOCT. It makes me think that Team 1 has a nuke, or possibly building a nuke. They don't have to go for SMDs and have a nuke at the same time, but you could trick your opponent into thinking you have a nuke by going for their SMDs. But then Boxeroo making comment about Team 2 has a nuke, so there's that, and it's built next to where the chickens were being produced. Those radioactive chickens from last video coming into play again. A Monkey Lord is offline, and chickens being supported by those Hover T3 mobile shields from the Seraphim faction. 10,000 hit points on board those things. It's a lot of hit points to just go, nah, I'm just fine, I'm going to ignore it. Fat Boy is in range, but I think it might be able to be saved by the crab tanking a lot of those shots. Large group of bricks moving in, cutting off anything on the northern edge here for Team 1. And that nuke, I didn't even check how far it was loaded. It is half loaded. And of course the Paragon is the bigger thing to watch out for. Getting lots of shields online. Love to see it. Lots of PD to prevent any sort of telemaser nonsense. Love, 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 love to see that. Crab has been defeated, but a chicken has been defeated as well. Fat Boy again is still online. This should not be pushing forward. There you go. It does fall back. 3 Fat Boys down here trying to just absolutely deny this incoming chicken grouping. But again, it's just very much a back and forth of Team 1 gets some distance on Team 2. Team 2 pushes on Team 1. Team 1 gets a bunch of mass. What's the reclaim looking like? Team 1 sitting at almost 500,000 mass, almost 500,000 mass reclaim for Team 1. Team 2 at 300,000. We will at least at a minimum see 1 million mass reclaimed in the game, just because I know that this game lasts about another 15 or so minutes. I think it's a little bit shorter than that. But still, that's a lot of mass to scoop up. Would explain a little bit why BRS is going for it. And looks like, oh, he didn't build that Paragon that quickly. Looks like Team 1 has possibly spotted the Paragon. Awasa Bomber is landing shots somewhere. I don't see it, though. Oh, it's down here. And it's still alive. 110,000 mass killed on board that guy. The chickens have been pushed back once again. It's the Fat Boys. Lyndon B. Johnson is almost dead. He was almost assassinated like his predecessor, but he makes it out of there. Awasa Bomber coming in, taking out half of those bricks incoming from the north. Outbound from Lin. He's, again, done a great job of kind of just sniping some of the low-hanging, actually sniped some of them, not all of them, for Team 1. That bomber has lasted longer than any of the other bombers for Team 1. So, again, that's a victory there. Lynn makes a comment. There is the bomber over there. Gotta watch out for it. Team 2 still hasn't built any more air experimentals. Is Team 2 doing anything else other than the Paragon? Of course, we see Lynn going for Nuke. Looks like the Nuke was... The Nuke was destroyed, because I would not imagine that he would control K it like that. Makes me think of... Oh, stuff. Oh. Novaxes. That do it. I was like, there's no like Strat Bomber Rex or anything over there. Oh, there's Novaxes. That do it. Unfortunately for Team 2's Lynn, that thing was mostly loaded, so he's just going to go right back to producing chickens. So the thing that Team 2 has just been, you know, their bread and butter. They're going back for it. Para, oof, says Boxeroo. And that thing is almost online. 40 minutes on the clock. I imagine Salvations are on his mind, at least BRS's mind. He has a lot of shielding. He's already prepped to Salvation, so yep, that is on his mind. Getting TMD, getting PD, Team 1s and T2s, getting tons of TMD over there. He's making sure this thing does not die, and he stopped all of his construction of his engineers. Looks like he might be power stalling, question mark? No, he has a lot of power. I don't know what he's waiting for. Maybe he's stockpiling power for shields, possibly. That's the only thing I can think of. But there are 4 satellites orbiting, or slowly orbiting that position, low orbiting, excuse me, that position from Team 1's Eyes No Good. And there's definitely a joke in there about using Novaxes and not being good or something. But again, my opinion about Novaxes is the fact that I like them. Large quantities, but deploying 1 or 2 and going after all the T3 mexes that are not shielded, it's a good strategy. Do some people like it? Absolutely not. I wouldn't like it if it was deployed against me, that's for sure. But it is a legitimate strategy, just like camping. It is a legitimate strategy. Doesn't mean that people don't like it. It is legitimate. And that Paragon has been completed, and shields and shields and shields and shields and more shields. At this point, if Team 2 loses their SMD, that is a big explosion waiting to happen. There's one there, and there's one there. That one is not shielded. This one is also not shielded, so Team 1 could go for that if they do notice that. But I don't know if Eyes No Good has noticed that or not. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This guy is going for satellites galore down here. Large amounts of lab spam outbound from Nobik. And that donut still holding position, kind of hanging out there. Going after any sort of air units moving into range. BRS, I am poor, says Lynn. Lynn's sitting at 800 mass. He was sitting at about 1100 or something, but he lost. Either he's, no, he has power, so he's just lost some structures. We do see those monkey lords kind of struggling. Are they targeting one another? Oh, because that's a monkey lord between 2. I was like, they look like the same. They're the same color. Why are they? Oh, one's gray and one is orange. Huh. Yeah, they were targeting each other for a reason. I was like, wait, hold on a second. Why are they shooting at one another? Still, Team 1 has not been able to break in through Team 2's defenses in the south. Same thing for Team 2 versus Team 1. But again, that reclaim game still in favor of Team 1. 600,000 versus, you know, they're catching up. 400,000 almost. But of course, 6,000 mass being generated per second. Generated, say, air quotes, because of course that Paragon is infinitely... almost essentially infinitely money glitching BRS's account at the current moment. Did he just reclaim this, or was that... it looks like that was targeted. That Salvation is going up decently quickly. Not as fast as I've seen it before, but it is going up. Team 1, that air grid is going to be a target. Artillery has been started by Storm Lantern. Oh, there it is. Not Paragon. Maber has been started by Team 1's UEF player of Eyes No Good. And at this point, it's just going to be, can Team 2 stave off the incoming attacks? We see down here in the south, not Paragon. Salvation has been built. Another one's up here. Another one is being built as we currently speak. And it's not really looking good here for Team 1 now with that rapid-fire artillery nonsense that is that Salvation. And we have some Strat Bombers being built. I don't know if it's going to be enough. They need an absolute horde, I would assume. There's not a lot of AA defenses to be... they're getting more and more all the time, though. There is currently 88 online for BRS, so yeah, he's getting those dealt with. And those spy planes are going to run into that group of ASFs and get slaughtered. And, of course, the Strat Bombers trying to stay out of visual or intel gathering range. Team 2, that is not Team 2, that is Team 1. Team 1 knows about none of them. A lot of build power down here. Crab is moving in. These forces are starting to break through, getting into XBOCT's stuff once again. Chicken still holding strong. 2 donuts moving in to intercept all of those satellites, focusing on that one salvation. Again, now there's 2 of them online. Team 1's about to lose the rest of their air grid. So the time is now for going for those Strat Bombers. If they wait too long, it's not going to be worth it. Or it might be worth it, but still, those Strat Bombers are going to be found out. At least I would imagine. It's still Team 1. Team 2. Yep, Team 2 knows about him, so if they're paying attention, they will see him. Oh, look, Nuke makes a comment. Hey, there's stuff here. And the air fight does ensue, but they were going after the Strat Bombers nonetheless. But this is going to be a huge engagement here for Team 1 and Team 2. Looks like those forces do turn around, but is that enough time for Team 1 to win the air fight? I don't think so, because even if they do win the air fight, it's only a matter of time before Team 2 builds enough to just body Team 1. Salvation's now targeting all of those Novaxes. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them now online. One of them has not been given orders as of yet. Looks like Team 1's eyes no good, focusing on other things. Donut has been felled, and Chicken's moving in, trying to kill off whatever they can. They're not going to get anywhere close to the vital structures that BRS has built, the Salvations, and of course the Paragon being chief among them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 satellites going after any sort of shield coverage they can. The only issue is, of course, is that Paragon, I mean, it can pump out power like it's going out of style. So there's no real issue here for Team 2's shield strength. Of course, most of those Strat Bombers get annihilated, unfortunately. At least the ones that were there. I don't see any more of them, so that the attempt on that Paragon's life has been halted. Team 1 does have a little bit of air advantage, but again, with hardly any sort of air facilities to pump out said air, it's not really going to do a whole lot. And now, again, there's a large, no man's land forming here between XBOCT and Team 1. 3rd Salvation online, 4th Salvation online, excuse me. Shields trying to be taken offline, but more of them are being built all the time, so even if those satellites take out one of them, it's only a matter of time before another one comes back online or gets rebuilt, or both. Cloaking has been canceled, going for Teleporter, and Bobus is going to try to just go for it. He has to go for the laser, of course. There's no way he's going to do it, though, because there's so many PD. It's going to be a death sentence, but he's going to try to do it. Probably try to at least knock out the shields just long enough for the Novaxes to take them out. Don't know if that will work. We do see that Storm Lantern's being targeted directly by BRS. He's like, no, you are not allowed to exist anymore. I'm going to rain fire from the heavens. And that's exactly what he's doing. Team 1 being pushed back once again by Team 2's forces. We see they're mainly commanded by Lin, but of course there's a couple of engineers going for reclaim, because you can't have enough mass. It's like money. You can never have enough money. I mean, you can have enough, but why not have more? Let's see, where is the comm of Bilbo? He's going for laser. There he goes. The shield protecting the comm. But the more expensive teleporter has been completed. And like I said, even if they break one of the shields, they've broken 2 of them, but it doesn't really matter if it costs so much time and effort to go after one emplacement. There it goes, that one, but that one's rebuilt and it now covers the old one. So it's kind of just overlapping fields of shields. It really makes it very difficult to really crack them. That's why shields are so powerful, especially when you group them together like that. Bilbo, okay, my question is, will you go for it? He's going to move over a little bit. And will he just teleport in? There's no waiting at this point. It's either you go for it or you don't, because at this point, it's only a matter of time I keep saying between, but Team 2 still going after Storm Lantern. He is fine, to be fair. Gotta go right now. Look at this. Look at this. This is like, I gotta move, gotta move, gotta move, gotta move, gotta keep going. Oh, they're raining in. Gotta go, gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. It's like, I can't stop moving, can't stop moving. Luckily, the individual shots from those salvations are weak, so he's able to at least regen the hit points very, very quickly with the advanced nano repair on board those Seraphim commanders, which is really, really good. Really, really annoying to deal with, but really, really good. Looks like now SMDs are targeted far. Has been defeated by Lin. Finally pushed in with those chickens. And it is now a 4v4 tied-up game here. Will Bilbo go for it? He still isn't going for it. Maybe he's waiting to see if the shields will buckle, but they're holding on. And there's now 2, 4, 6, 7 satellites now surrounding that Paragon. Still, the Novaxes have not been targeted. Well, scratch that. Looks like some facilities are being targeted at the current moment. There are some more strap bombers back here, and the chickens have pretty much been dealt with here by Team 1, and they're going after Bilbo stuff now. Bilbo, are you going to send it? He is going to send it. Where is he going? He's going after the air grid down south. I don't know if that's worth it, but he is going to teleport in. Team 1 is on their doorstep. The teleport about to emerge. There it goes. We'll go after some P-gens. And he's got to teleport immediately because at this point, Team 2 is going to be like, oh, that's a teleporting commander. We got to take care of that. And Donut is moving in. And Chicken's in range. That comm is dead. There's no escaping that anymore, unfortunately, for Bilbo. He's going to go for as much damage as he can. Go after just something, anything, or, anything is better than nothing. Gets another rank invention. Takes a strap bomber to the face, and there he goes. Team 1 loses another player. It's a 3v4 in favor of Team 2 for the first time in the game. More and more and more salvations being built by BRS. Still cannot crack that shielding. I feel like the attempt should have been made for that Paragon by Bilbo, because I think going after some of the air grid for XBOCT isn't really worth it, because this is still a huge struggle fest for both of these players, so it's going to be a lot of attention. It should have at least made the... Because if you made the attempt at least, then maybe some of the shield strength would have been knocked out enough to make it worth it, possibly. I heard it... Oh, it's over there. It's like, I heard something blow up, but that was not a commander. The donut falls out of the sky once again. Team 1 ever so closely inching their way to XBOCT's main base, but like I said, by the time they make it, I don't think it's going to be worth it. The Mavor is about to finish, though. And I think Team 2 has finally spotted it. Oh, they know where it is. It's not shielded. That Salvation's going to immediately target it. And it's going to... Oh, there's no shield. Oh, no. Oh, the shots are raining in. The shots are inbound. You can see the yellow dots. That shield needs to be built immediately. Will that Mavor survive? I say no, because there's no shielding here for Team 1's eyes no good. He waited so long. He finally built it. Here comes in that artillery fire. 4,000 hit points. Almost gone off that Mavor's, chassis structure. And there goes another set of hit points. 300 remain. There it goes. Didn't even get a chance to fully extend or fully align that barrel. Team 1's player of Eyes No Good control Ks with that, and at this point, like Eyes No Good said, it's essentially GG. Team 2 wins the match here. Team 1 did build a artillery over here, that disruptor. So they're building a second one, but it's not going to break through the shielding. If the Mavor got online, maybe it would have been enough, but at this point, there's no saving Team 1 unless they can magically take out that Paragon. I don't see a chance in where Team 1 comes back from this. They had such a good thing going down south, but BRS bunkered down so very hard, and of course protecting him was Lin on the ground. He did such a great job of pushing in, getting kills, constantly pushing Team 1 back. Another donut running around the map here, but at 50 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock, I can definitely call this for Team 2. The line of hives and the line of shields and the line of land factors. Love to see it. Love to see the spam. And of course, I'm at +2 currently. I can try to go to +10. It's not going to do anything. At negative... Oh, I saw -1 for a brief moment. Let's do +10 again. I saw -1 for a brief moment on the scoreboard in terms of sim speed. But, oh, there's a couple of... Oh, no, they're not going to break in. Looks like one's ground fire. Oh, something's going on. Ion Storm taking out that chicken, takes out a chicken, takes out a crab most likely. The chicken's getting most of the damage. That crab somehow still alive. Oh, 500 hit points. Oh, and it's gone. -4. Lynn says -4. That's, of course, their sim speed. My sim speed a little better because it's not, 12 players trying to connect to one game and lag and, all of that. Ping and what. Anyway, but that is -4 is nuts. But it looks like Storm Lantern throws in the towel. I can't blame him. And there goes Skotic. That is a win here for Team 2 at 51.5 minutes. Almost on the dot. 51.5 minutes. And that is the game, folks. Team 2's MVP goes to either, in my opinion, BRS or Lynn. I think with the move from that BRS got on Boxer Rouge's commander, I feel like if Boxer Rouge was still alive, there's a lot more APM over here. Maybe they would be able to push back Team 2 a little bit more than they did. So I think that initial grab of the comm, plus, of course, just completely focusing on eco, really just, and air, really just got Team 1 really rolling. Sorry, Team 2 rolling. Of course, having a second air player also helps that. But I do think at the end of the day, BRS gets the MVP in my book. Of course, if you haven't done so already, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so very much for watching to the end of the video. And I will see all of you in the next one.